All right, we're gonna do self-love oracle cards. I just had them out. Great deck. Let's tap in and see what's kind of going on. So we are literally, tomorrow is day before Halloween. Okay. Halloween Eve. We're getting ready for Samhain, which is New Year. Let's just kind of see what is going on. Make sure you guys are also hitting the share button. If you're just finding me, take a second to say hi. Make sure you're connected with the energies. Leave a comment, especially if you're trying to get cards and things like that. Give me 1 minute while I share this video out or try to share it out too. All right, are you excited for the holiday? If you have a costume, drop it. Let me know if you have any plans. It's a really nice time of year as we can kind of tap in and tune in and see things on a deeper level. Pay attention, I always say, during this time as the veil is, I don't want to say it's gone, but really, really thin. So you're able to tap in and get a lot of messages through. Remember that when we're dealing with spirit, we're dealing with our loved ones in spirit, ancestors, spirit guides, angels, ascended masters. I can go on and on with this list, right? So we're able to kind of connect and get that guidance through very, very strongly. Pay attention to your intuition this Scorpio season. I was calling it an accident spirit season this morning on my last video. Pay attention though to your intuition during this time. Make sure that you're following your intuition too, because you might be getting messages through and maybe they make a lot of sense, maybe not so much. Make sure you're paying attention though to what you're being guided to do during this time. I feel that we're getting a lot of clarity on like what comes next. This is for you in your personal life, right? What comes next for you specifically? You're getting like a lot of insight and reveal. It might be seeing the next, we'll say, I call it a layer, next layer of your blueprint, what comes next, what's going to happen next, where you want to be. It could like be coming through in many different ways. If you're feeling a little off course, I mean, you might know it, but your ancestors are going to be like, whoa, 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 right now, like trying to get your attention. They might even be a little bit blunt. Maybe you're doing great and you're on course, but you're like going to be getting things through that will really, really help you. This is why a lot of times when we go into these gateways, and this one is a spirit gateway, you're going to notice that this is a time to connect with your ancestors and loved ones in spirit. And on the spirit side, they very much walk into our world during this time and help us a little bit more. So if you have loved ones on the other side, ancestors trying to get your attention because you're kind of walking their path still, and they're like, no, 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 right? Whatever it is, just expect you're going to be getting a lot of messages. This could just be from your own, loving spirit guides that are coming through. So pay attention, because I feel like for the next couple of days, right now, the energies that we're in, but over the next couple of days, it can really, really help you. Like if you weren't sure about a situation, you didn't know, you're getting a lot of clarity and like getting very clear on certain things. Some of you guys might feel that. You might really miss your loved ones during this time, and you might kind of pick up on that, and you might know that. It just kind of depends. But we're going to kind of do some cards anyways, but just letting that sit with you. Okay, so we're doing the self-love oracle cards just to see what is going on. Make sure you guys are checking out my website too before we get started, sparksofdivinelighealing.com. I am an energy healer. I have a ton of healings, clearings, and activations on there. I have a lot of really nice stuff up there right now for the next couple of days. You can do it all of the time anyway. So tomorrow, technically Halloween, but tomorrow night we have a beautiful moon and Pleiades alignment that's going to kind of kick things off for this Halloween. The next day, of course, is Samhain and the Witch's New Year, and then of course we're going to go into All Souls and All Saints Day and things like that too. So beautiful time if you are wanting to do something for your loved ones. You can just light a candle, pray to them, talk to them. This is a great time to be doing any of that kind of stuff. But make sure you are checking out my website. You can book me on there if you do need me. I teach classes like Reiki and Sikhem, and of course I do psychic and mediumship readings on there too. So if you need me, just book me on there. We're doing self-love oracle. If you're able to send stars or PayPal donations or be a supporter, please do. It helps this page a ton, by the way. Like to keep it going. So if you're getting something out of it, awesome way you can give something back. So if you're sending stars, I'm going to try to give you a psychic shout out. Okay, self-love oracle cards. How you need to pour a little bit into yourself right now. Let's just see how. Okay, let's see. David Curtin, thank you. Okay, we have heal. Wounds need to be acknowledged before they can heal, especially those unseen. Give yourself the time, space, whatever is necessary to regain your wholeness. Healing does not fit a schedule. Like, I'd like to be healed now, right? Like, we are talking about healing a lot of stuff that we have been through and a lot of unconscious stuff that our entire family line has been through that exists through us, through our DNA, patterns, the ways that we're encoded. And so we're trying to, number one, heal a lot of stuff, and number two, clear a lot of stuff very, very fast. And you're noticing, I feel it happens in layers. I describe that reality in layers too. Like, if you want to go into certain layers and you can go deeper, it's like that with the healing too, that we might have a lot of layers that come up. Like, you're done with this, guess what? You got more stuff coming up. And so that's how it works too. I feel that we have to make this an entire lifestyle, by the way, not like, okay, I'm going to do this once and, expect it just to solve all of my problems, even though I've been kind of making a mess for myself unconsciously for a long time. But the more that we can make this like an entire lifestyle, getting healthy, healing, making better choices, meditating, energy work, and all of this stuff that we're learning how to do, it'll really, really help us. So it doesn't happen always on a schedule, right? It happens in spirals. You might have to revisit old experiences that you didn't want to, that are coming back up again. And it could be something triggered energetically within your field or through your external situation, or, it just comes up in your mind. I find that about Ascension, that we sit sometimes by ourselves, right? We sit and we replay a lot of stuff. I feel this is literally part of the Ascension process and shifting into a higher state of consciousness and the work that we do. So it could be like you're sitting right here and you have memories come up, or, you are having old experiences come up, things that you've been through. And sometimes we revisit, hopefully, these things from a new perspective or whatever it is kind of coming up. Some of these wounds are very obvious, like I've been through X, Y, and Z trauma-wise. Some of them are unseen too, and they're just existing in our energy field. You could have had a problem or struggle and you didn't know why. I've struggled with X, Y, and Z in my life, and come to find out X, Y, and Z has been traveling down your family line forever. And so sometimes we do know this stuff and we're conscious of it. Some of this healing happens on a subconscious level. That's what I tried to get into right there, right? On the energetic level, we'll call it, on the subconscious level. So we have wounds that exist a little bit deeper. Maybe we can place these wounds and we're very conscious of it. A lot of times we can't. And it could be part of our programming, things we picked up, from our family line, whatever it is. Be patient with your process. I feel that's a big thing coming up collectively right now, that we're not fully where we want to be yet, and that is okay. Take some more time to focus on your healing journey. Let's do Antonio. Good morning or afternoon. Learn. Expand your knowledge to expand your world. Seek out teachers of wisdom. Seek new knowledge to create broader perspective. And I love this because I was posting not too much, but I was posting a little bit about how we have this Mercury and Sagittarius alignment, and it makes it ideal for seeking out teachers and learning, or even for those of you guys that are going into something like that, where you're learning how to teach or communicate or share knowledge or whatever it is too. We're here to learn on so many different levels. And so when we get really, really, let's say conscious, sorry, I'm losing my shoe, conscious of that, it really, really helps with the process and things like that too. Sometimes we're not always like that. Find a good teacher that will guide you. This could be like finding a mentor, and this is such a necessity, finding someone to teach you. I teach energy healing. You guys know that. If you're looking to get more into that realm, I have a ton of classes on my website. So this is just staying open to learn, but knowing that if you find the right teacher or mentor, they can really, really accelerate your process so much. They're going to be able to help you with the blind spots. Some of these blind spots, we know they're there, and maybe we don't even see them on the unconscious level. So when you work with a teacher, they're going to really, really fast help you to pinpoint and clear blocks and things like that that might be coming up for you. Rebecca. Rest. I love the picture too, because it goes with what we're doing. Okay. Okay, divine timing is always spot on. Surrender control and take a break. This is for someone like maybe you feel like your ego is wearing you out, or just life, right? And it's okay, if you feel like you're, once again, we said not where you want to be, or you're struggling against the flow, or you're just having a hard time with things, make sure that you're prioritizing rest. I can tell you better than anyone about those states of empath burnout. When you guys don't rest, and you might need to catch up on it later. So sometimes we like to cut corners, like, you know, I'm not resting when I should be. Well, it could be Ascension keeping you up at night, but jokes aside, it could be like, you know, you're not prioritizing your health or your wellness and your rest, and guess what? It will catch up to you. So make sure that you're also, doesn't matter what you're doing in life, prioritizing your health, your healing, your wellness, your rest. Make sure that you are, even if it's like you're really needing to take a lazy day or needing to lay around, or even some of you guys are feeling like you might need to take a nap sometimes. It just kind of depends. And this helps our body to rest too, because sometimes our minds go really, really fast. Like you have all these ideas, you got things to do, you got all this work you're doing, right? And it's like the body can't always keep up, and our body is so important. It's such an important part of this ascension, of this spiritual awakening, and obviously of ourselves too. And so our body's going through an entire upgrade like never before in our programming, and, you know, holding this higher level of consciousness, more light, higher state of consciousness and energies and things like that too. So it's having to go through a major upgrade from the 3D, I don't want to call it an avatar, but 3D body type to the 5D body type. And it is such a process as we're bringing on that new coding and encoding it and things like that too. So sometimes you're needing to make sure that you're really, really prioritizing things that are good for your healing. Eat better foods, take better care of yourselves, make sure you're taking vitamins, right? But also make sure that you're prioritizing rest. This will help you with your process. Magdalene Benham. Own your power. And I love this because it's got the butterfly on it, my favorite. Okay, changing the world is easier after one learns to change oneself. Become the change you wish to see and watch the world around you shift. And I love this too, because sometimes we've been like, when a slave focused on changing everything externally, this is like control freak energy, right? Like trying to help, trying to change maybe friends, partners, family. We want to change them back in the day, right? We want to change them and help them and heal them. And it's like, okay, now we're being guided to work on ourselves and to heal ourselves. But this is how you shift your external life and your external reality. So for those of you guys that are like on this awakening journey and you're healing yourself, you're seeing that it does change your external path and your external situations as they are responding to your new frequency. So it's really, really important that you're healing yourself. So usually how this happens is, we attract people out of wounding, especially even more so when we're asleep and unconscious and things like that too. So we attract people out of our wounding, and we see that wound in this other person because we carry that wound, right? So instead of healing the wound internally, we're like trying to, heal this other person and that wound externally, not realizing the mirror and nature of reality, that if we would heal that wound, we might not attract this situation anyway, or, because we've resolved that. So some of our connections slide in and out of our life based on unresolved energies or unresolved wounding that we kind of need to see. The people around us unintentionally tend to act as mirrors to show us on a deeper level. So as you're changing and healing and like raising your frequency and changing certain patterns, it's going to help in a very, very positive way to attract better connections, healthier connections, but also to help you so that you're shifting your external reality to match this new frequency and this new level of healing that you're reaching to. Make sure that you're changing yourself. And that's so, so hard, because we see that a lot too with enlightenment and like, okay, I need to work on myself, because in reality, we can't change anyone else. They may want to change, they might not want to change, as we found in the past probably, right? Maybe, maybe not, but we can change ourselves, and that's what we hold that power over. This is a card about taking back your power and empowering yourself. So maybe not. We're going to go through the same situations anyway in life. That's debatable. Like, right, how much of this is pre-planned out, and how much do we kind of, we'll say, change things as we're here? Regardless, right? We're going to go through certain experiences. We can control how we're showing up, how we're responding, and what we're allowing or not allowing in our reality too. And I think this is such an important place of taking back our power too, and seeing our role that we play in certain external situations and external dramas, and trying to remove ourselves from things that are no longer resonating, they're no longer a fit, or maybe even external drama in some type of way. This is a card encouraging you to take back your power by working on yourself and changing yourself. This is where you're going to see the most benefit. Let's do Sam Beadle. Good morning. Look deeper. There's much more beneath the surface. Remain cool and centered. Take time to look at the deep underlying currents and feel your intuition. And I love this card too because the cat. Okay, we're learning that that's the subconscious. And this is what Scorpio season is amazing at helping us to see on a deeper level as well too. It's a very intuitive sign. It can I always say it kind of knows things and can kind of tap in because it is a water energy. Water signs are really, really good for tapping into the energy. If it's like reading someone else's, it could be thoughts, energy, what's going on, intentions. You guys should be really good at that, right? So when we're dealing with Scorpio, there's also the underneath part. A lot of times we're just becoming aware of certain ways that we're acting, certain patterns, certain behaviors, certain things playing out. I hear so many people say that to me with the awakening, like, oh, I'm just becoming aware that this is a problem, or, just seeing this for the first time in my life, even though I've been going through certain cycles. So we're becoming more awake. We're becoming more aware due to the energies kind of changing and coming in like very high frequency energies into the planet. And so this is looking at things on a deeper level. Some people are very comfortable at surface level, and we know that. I call that the sleep, right? Okay. They're very comfortable on that surface level and not going deeper, and that is okay. Some of you guys are craving a little bit of more depth and a deeper journey during this time. Welcome to spiritual awakening, right? And when you go a little bit deeper, you begin to examine and dissect your own patterns and behaviors. This is shadow work at its finest, why you act like this, what you need to heal, and things on a deeper level. In fact, I believe that when we go to sleep, we kind of hang out. Like we spend a lot of the time, I don't want to say half the time, let's say a third of the time. We spend about a third of our time here on earth in the unconscious, in the dreams, right? We literally walk around these dream dimensions and then just kind of get up and go back to work like it's normal every day. Right? We walk around in these other worlds, other realities. We see parallel lives, past lives. We can visit with our loved ones in spirit, as we're talking about. And this is that deeper layer of the subconscious. Our subconscious projects our entire awakened reality as well too. So if we want to change what we're experiencing, we need to get down to the deeper level of the subconscious, which oftentimes we're kind of asleep to or can't access that good. This is where things like doing that shadow work to heal your thoughts and retrain your thoughts, positive affirmations. If you want to manifest something, start to really, really tell yourself it's yours, visualize it, experience it beforehand. This type of stuff will really, really help on the subconscious level through bringing things into your reality, manifestation, living a better life, things like that too. So you're being guided to go a little bit deeper, whatever that looks like for you. Let's see. We have Rebecca. Exercise gratitude. Everyone is a co-creator in this shared experience of life. Gratitude for all things overcomes our resistance to challenges and spurs our growth. And this is so important. I have been, personally, I know we should do this daily. Every day when I'm laying in bed, I'm ready to go to bed. Okay, my favorite time. I'm ready to go to bed. When I'm laying in bed, I try to look at my day and to speak gratitude into it, to the universe. I sit and I pray and I find things to be grateful for. Anything, anything in my life. Could have been the worst day ever. Hopefully not, right? But I try to pick out the good things because you're not going to have the same day twice, even though we think we are, right? And so I try to be like, okay, and I really do that. And you could do that for 3 things. All you have to do is pick out 3 things that went pretty decent in your day. That's not too hard, right? But when we can get in that mindset of gratitude, obviously we're connecting with the upper chakras and the crown chakra. We feel a lot better. And it really helps to reprogram our mind and, make new pathways and all of this amazing stuff that it opens up within the spiritual. And this helps us to have that type of mindset too. And so sometimes we love to find things going wrong, oftentimes before they happen. We're like, this could go wrong. And what if we could actually reprogram and start to be like, what if this went right? It would every single time. It's actually the negative thoughts that continue to create negative experiences that we definitely don't want. Like, what if this goes terrible? This could blow up. It could catch on fire. This could go bad. We don't want that stuff happening, but our mind, our egoic mind, tends to take us there. So this is why things like reprogramming, staying in gratitude, having that actual attitude of gratitude is going to be so good. I think that's why our lives, I don't want to say they went kind of not great. Great. Okay. I think that's why they went like that and why we had these experiences. And I've been taught that this goes way deep into past lives where humans, you know, they had a lot of stuff and they had everything and they just weren't very happy and, you know, were having problems with each other. And that I feel that's why we went through this certain journey though, to experience certain things. Like if you are an awakened soul, you might have had a rough start in life. You might have picked a challenging family or challenging dynamics because you were going right into that wake up energy right at first. Okay. like whatever lessons you had, it was to teach you certain things that you were going to need. And so out of that, now where you're at, you should be really grateful for everything, just whatever it is. We have a lot of struggle happening on the planet still and things like that. So finding things that you're grateful for, and maybe this will really help you if you're having a rough day to change it, to flip the script. So make sure that you're doing some type of daily gratitude practices. I love, you can do that journaling. You can do that through prayer, just reflecting. It'll really, really help. And if you can't find anything, sometimes I'm like, I'm just grateful for my cats over here. like this rough day. like if you have this like a really apocalyptic day, everything went wrong, like you gotta have something. You can find something. Like just those little moments, but it'll really, really help make you feel better. Okay, Rose, good to see you. Right. Okay, having an outlet to express one's thoughts leads to more clarity and awareness of oneself. Put pencil to paper, explore your inner world. And I love the journaling and things. In fact, I started writing these books that turned out kind of like these journaling experiences and stuff like that too. You might feel guided to get creative and write something. Now, this could be journaling. I know a lot of people I work with to like do journaling exercises, and it's really, really helpful. If that's your style, you know, one of the best things coming to mind that you can write a manifesting list. Like I had to do that like 2 days ago again, because you're needing to update it. Like your life has changed so much in 1 year that if you have a list from a year ago, it's like probably going to go in the trash and you're going to have to start over. So this is a really good time to get a manifest list going too, and to write down like, if it's things you need, we need to be more clear with the universe. If it's things that you need, things that you're trying to work on, things that you're trying to manifest. And like, I just got this, I should have brought it. I got this amazing book of like writing down your future and things like that too. I haven't done it yet, but these type of exercises are so powerful for creating that blueprint or bringing through that blueprint, tapping into it and getting really, really clear. Because once you write it down, you have a plan, right? And this is like what you want to activate, what you want to bring through, what you want to experience. It could be anything, like literally. For some people, it might be like, I just want a new couch, a new car, a new partner. You literally can manifest anything that you're thinking about. So if you're stuck in like, I don't know what to write about, start with a manifesting list, start writing it down. These type of tools are very, very powerful for helping us to get more clear, because that flow of energy is always wanting to co-create with us, and it helps, you know, to set a destination, as I'm always saying, and things like that. Or it could help you too. I have a lot of people that write up reoccurring negative thoughts that are coming because their blocks are having them all of the time. Okay, like maybe it's one thing to think something, you know, one day, but if you're having reoccurring, you know, negative thoughts that you need to get out of, write them down so you can see them on paper. They go away, they dissipate, right? And it could be like that to help clear blocks. It could be like having a challenge with something, writing it down, writing down the feelings of that, just for anything. It just kind of depends. So maybe being guided to journal. I have people do that going into the past for some of the sessions I do and things like that. Then I'm like, burn it, get rid of it. Okay, Jamie McDonald. Change your environment. Our environment supports or undermines us. Give more attention to where you live, work, rest, and play. Create surroundings that support you. Okay, so this is not like just go move. Okay. I see a lot of people right now, like in this cocoon energy. We're going in there. Like we can wait and do it later, or just get ahead of the game. Okay, so we're going to go into this cocoon energy for the winter. It's not my babe either. But I see a lot of people like redecorating, and it doesn't have to be like a whole thing. Like just bringing some new energy into your house. Like, you know, it could be just a couple little things. I found myself doing that recently too. Just kind of like, you know, it could be like literally like, you know, getting rid of things you're not using. We talk a lot about cleansing the home. We're not going to go there. Now bringing some energy into it. Like if you need some fresh vibes, it could be as simple as like getting some new pillows for your couch, or putting some new artwork up, or whatever that really resonates with you, and your home will feel brand new. All it takes is a couple little tweaks like that too. So maybe you're being guided to really look at your space and how you feel about your space, And if needed, you know, a little feng shui or whatever. Now, I love this because it has work on it too. Maybe I know I'm not the healthiest all the time. Maybe you're being guided to bring some donuts for your work friends, or bring a little plant in, or whatever it is to kind of uplift where you're working or your personal space or something like that too. It could be as simple as like getting some flowers or a plant or like a new painting or whatever. We spend a lot of time in our space though, so you know, when we're feeling good in our space, it makes us feel good too. It just kind of depends. So whether this is just your home needing a sage or a little bit of an uplift to make you feel better. But I do feel we're going in that cocoon vibe anyway, right? So, and we're kind of feeling that. It really supports our awakening and ascension too as we're getting ready for this time of year. And I know life is going maybe a little bit differently than we all planned, right? But that's where we're at with it. You're going in your healing bubble for the next couple of months. You know, make it work for you too. So if you're needing to bring like some cozy blankets in, some salt for your salt baths, whatever it is. So pay attention to your space for you. Let's do Kika. Good morning. Okay, we are doing mourn. Grieving can be overwhelming but necessary. We're cleansed by letting our feelings wash through us. Only then can we move past the pain. Now, this might be obvious because obviously I always think of crossed over loved ones when I hear this message and the grieving process. And sometimes we don't realize that grieving process can really open us up psychically too, especially if we're continuing to connect after death too. So this could be on that level. Perhaps you've lost someone that you love, and grief, it doesn't always go away like you might think it does. And if you've ever lost someone very close to you, you might find that that's like a lifelong thing. It doesn't go away. It might get better, but you might have waves of it coming up. Now, this might not even be on that realm, so just take what resonates with this message. We're grieving the old earth right now, this old way of living that we never really even got to dip our feet in, right? And we're trying to come together to create this new collective, but you know what? We're creating it out of the rubble, the ashes that hasn't fully formed yet. And so we're kind of in between worlds right now. And a lot of people, you know, might feel that strongly going through a spiritual awakening. So there's a very sad energy and vibration that's been, I call it reverberating across the collective, that some of you guys are awakened might pick up on, where maybe you're just no longer resonating with the 3D and what it has to offer. That's not a bad thing, by the way, but it can feel a little isolating, alienated. You might feel like an alien, right? Lonely as you're kind of like guided more into the 5D and away from the 3D, and the world as we know it is kind of going through a huge, call it an uplift transformation, whatever's happening to it, right? And so some of you guys are kind of feeling that too, that we're kind of having to let go of the old or old attachments. And this could go to ego, like how your life looks. We talked about that, taking you in another direction, which is an okay thing. But there's kind of a sad collective vibe for the world as we know it, as things are kind of happening collectively. I try to stay out of that energy, but sometimes it's like really obvious in the background. So it just kind of depends, regardless of which side of the message is kind of going on with you. Heart chakra work, and you know, this is like sad feelings, and I feel that's why that can happen with awakening anyway. But back to, if you've lost someone close to you, that oftentimes is a huge catalyst for your awakening. Like, I'm always trying to understand life, things at a deeper level. And I remember like having this explained to me, and I don't think I was even quite awake yet. Like, this stuff was pre-planned out in your life for some of this stuff to happen, and I'm like, why? Like, God, why, right? Like, to wake up the members of this group to, you know, and I'm like, why, right? Like, some of this stuff is planned out. So, and I believe that. You can't convince me that everything, well, a lot of things in our life aren't planned out, especially deaths and things like that. And like, you know, some connections that we might learn with, I feel that is something usually planned out at that point anyway. Or, you know, we have a life plan and we try to stay on track the best we can and things like that. So sometimes we don't understand why. I've seen that a lot though, with a lot of the awakened people. A lot of people have lost someone that they loved or close to them. And this has played an important role probably in, you know, making you think about that energy, you know, that wake up energy, we'll call it. Susan, pay it forward. Be the answer to someone else's prayer. Helping others can be the quickest way to help ourselves. And I love that, being of service. And sometimes you are. So when you feel guided to call a friend or to reach out or check on them, and it just seems, oh, I don't know, right? they might really need you during that time. And, you know, and I love that about, because I've been on the other end of that, like praying and needing help and someone kind of walking up, like literally. Okay, so I know how this stuff works, and I've kind of had to learn how that too. So you don't know, that person could have been, you know, having a hard time and kind of praying and needing someone. And, you know, sometimes it could be, you know, actually needing something in the physical, but sometimes it could just be needing support or needing guidance or something that you can channel for them too. So when your friend is, you know, crying and going through a rough time, and you kind of intuitively know what to say to make them feel better, you know, sometimes you're channeling these messages, and it might be exactly what they needed to hear at that time. So being of service in some type of way, I feel that's what the world, I don't want to say it's waiting on it. That's going to be the game changer when we can all evolve, wake up, heal, and act a little better. I think that will solve a lot of the world problems, as we're seeing too, to shift into that being of service in some type of way. And this can translate into all areas of your life. This might be some type of service work, some type of mission, some way you can help the planet. I see a lot of that coming out of some of the, well, it is negative, but perceived negative stuff happening. Like people like, okay, how can I help? Or, you know, I see a lot of good stuff on the same happening, because I know we love to focus on the negative stuff transpiring. I see a lot of people helping, or, you know, people might need it a little bit extra during this time too. So just having that heart of being of service. Let's do GG. Return to center. And this is, okay, certain events do not benefit from panicked reactions. The situation may not need a response from you. Stay calm and centered in your heart. And so I think this is important too, because we just talked about external events, whether these are collective or even just little ones in your life. And so the universe loves to use these cataclysmic external events to kind of get us on course when we're off course. And we can see that about our life, whether it was a karmic cycle, karmic experience, some person that came in and kind of moved you really fast. They could come into your life and leave your life just as fast. And you're like, these are all examples of external events that can happen kind of to get your attention, to wake you up, to trigger some type of an awakening, to activate something in you. Make sure that you are, because we're talking about self-care, self-love today. I thought they were perfect cards, and heart chakra work. Make sure that you're staying balanced in your energy no matter what. Not everything deserves a response from you, especially if it's not for you in some type of way. Try not to feed into drama. I'm not going to go into this talk, but certain beings that love those dramatic events and experiences. We see that collectively too. Okay, anyways, but I mean, like in your everyday life, make sure that you're not feeding into drama or external drama right now. Make sure that you're just staying really grounded. That's the word. Grounded and balanced and kind of energetically in your own energy field during this time. This is going to help you. So let's just say we have the same experiences happening anyway, right? We can deal with it really. That's the purging, right? It's purging and spinning and frantic, or we can learn how to kind of show up grounded. I'm like halfway between when I show up like, okay, we can show up in that energy, or, you know, some people show up really confident and secure and just like, okay, and they probably feel a lot better going through the same experience. So the goal is to show up like kind of grounded and okay. No matter what you're kind of facing during this time, jokes aside, it'll make you feel a lot better too. Make sure that you're not spinning or purging unnecessarily because of external things that are happening kind of in the background of your life that aren't important or whatever it is too. Make sure that you're not feeding into other people's drama during this time. And this could be in like many different situations that could be playing out, whether this is like your friends having problems, they're always having problems, like, right? Or your family, or, you know, some type of drama that is not your own for this person. Just make sure that you're detaching, staying grounded, and kind of being mindful or aware of what is yours and what isn't yours to carry. Let's do Pam Gilmore. Coexist. Okay, be as you are. Sorry, I can't see. Like, turn the light off. All right, be as you are without harm to anyone or anything. Appreciate diversity as part of nature. Variety is the space of life. So I always say they want us to be, I never saw the Minions movie, but they want us to be little minions. They're all in the same little outfit, and they all look the same, right? And they would love us to be like basically AI worker bees, like, right? And that's not how life is. Now, I believe that we need to get back to the law of one, which this planet has been like, very in tune to. And the more we get out of alignment with the law of one, the more potential we have for separation and separation issues and things like that too. When we really, really begin to awaken and integrate that we're all not only connected, but one, the higher, then it makes it a little bit easier too, because it's perceived separation. That guy over there, that person over there, right? This person, and not whatever we're projecting at that person, or that person. Okay. So it makes it a lot easier. Now, this is part of what happens with an empath or someone that's spiritually awakening, someone that's ascending. We come back to that state of oneness, and there's less disharmony. So the deeper we went, thank God we went there first, the deeper that we go into the 3D separation consciousness, welcome to childhood, coming to earth, right? We have to literally change our frequency to where we came into, and it's much more dense, heavy energy. We took on all of that karma in our new body that came from our family line and things like that. And so we had to go into this dense energy, and oftentimes there's more separation there. Now we're coming out of that as we are healing, and we all are karmically healing certain things. As we are karmically healing and releasing the dense, heavy energies and the negative energies, we're getting lighter. And as we are returning to source, we are returning to oneness as well too. And so we find that in the higher dimensions, and they are right here literally, so the 3D's right here, and maybe some of you guys are awakened and you're resonating on like a 4 and a 5D frequency. That's great. You're going to find less of that. You're probably connecting on a deeper level, whether this is a romantic partner or a friend or the people around you. There's less divide. There's less separation. We know the deeper we go into that 3D realm, there's a lot of divide and division and things like that too. So as we are awakening, naturally we're spiraling up to source, and there's much more connection. You find your soulmate, you're finding maybe your twin flame, you're finding your soul group, you're finding people that you vibe with, you're feeling a lot better within yourself, because a lot of that separation is perceived within ourself or from source, that original split, and that's what actually creates all of our suffering. And that's why we see so much trauma and other issues that spin out of the trauma and things like that, because it's the perceived separation. We were never separate from God or source. And so we begin to return to this state of oneness, this state of wholeness, and on a spiritual and a soul level as we are healing ourselves, because that's how we return to that state of oneness too. So this is a card urging you to continue to work on your healing so that you can become more whole. And as you are, you're kind of attracting less out of that separation split and more out of that state of wholeness. So you start to feel a lot better. You start to, instead of noticing all the divide and differences, I always say, you don't like the same sports team as me. They blocked. Like, oh my God, that's just a bad example of separation. You're on a different political team, if they are teams, right? It's blocked. These are examples of divide and conquer and separation. You're from another country, wars, and things like that. And so the opposite begins to happen. Oh, you like something different. How cool and how unique. We don't all need to be the same. Okay, and we begin to say there are billions of people on this planet having their own unique experience. And instead of me trying to MK Ultra everyone to like the same sports team as me and getting very uncomfortable if they don't like that, I don't have to go there. I'm like, okay, cool, enjoy your football. I'm going to do something else, right? And so we come out of that perceived separation and divide. There's a divide about everything. Like, oh, you like this, you don't like that. It's very black and white thinking. So we kind of come out of that matrix thinking, and we're not, feeling it's a threat if someone doesn't like everything we like or whatever it is. Jokes aside, let's do, I see Jennifer Gale. Time to break free. It's time to break free from your guilt over past actions and your judgments of others. Discard what no longer works for you. Okay, so this is sacral stuff, and I'm trying to understand just for myself, like for a friend, right? For myself, some of the chakra stuff, because we do have our solar plexus, as it deals with the shame, and that's just, some of the things from the past, and of course the guilt. And like, have you ever had someone, I'm just thinking I had a parent like this, that they would make you feel bad for things, the guilt trip, right? They would make you feel bad. bad. Everything was your fault, whatever it was. And so this is like the guilt programming, right? And some people do this unconsciously. They probably don't even realize what they're doing, or they do, and they're really manipulative and they're good at it. Like, right? Okay. And so that's the guilt, right? And this is like pretty much kind of, we are very conscious creatures. We're energetic beings, and when we get off of our path and out of alignment, we don't really feel good about it. When we're in alignment, we feel pretty good about it. Like, okay, my life's going pretty good. So when we take a wrong path or we make a choice that isn't aligned, we tend to eat ourselves up. It's like the whole thing. We don't need a ruler in the, I'm sorry, I don't want to say this. We don't need to be judged upon death, because we do that enough while we're alive, and they just kind of leave us to it. Like, okay, so if you made a bad decision and it wasn't really aligned, sometimes we kind of internally probably think about it and process it, I hope. Anyways, otherwise the people are psychopaths, right? Some people might not have that, but most people are really, really good at internally processing things. Now, this is feeling bad about something, feeling guilty about something. Now, the problem is sometimes this is part of our programming. We have a lot of this in a lot of, I don't want to say it, but religious programmings, family programs, and things like that we're kind of trying to clear, that maybe they were serving us for a time, but they're no longer relevant in serving us for ourselves, where we're at on our journey. So we're trying to kind of unload and let go of a lot of stuff. I see this a lot in different ways, like come up in many different people, and you'll know with the sacral and things like that too. Now, sometimes this isn't as straightforward as you think. This could be also cleaning up your sacral center. The best way to clean up your sacral is to cut and clear the old energy cords. Okay, now one way that we can see of how good of a job you've done of that is, if I was to flip through your social media, this is for everyone, how good of a job have you done of clearing out people that have hurt you, people that have betrayed you, past lovers, past karmics, people that were not good for you? Are they still, on your social page? Are you still liking their stuff and scrolling them? Or have you blocked and got rid of them? And I feel that's a manifestation, right, of how connected to people we are. Now, we're in a day of social media. We love, everyone will drop you a friend request, I'm sure, right? Like, they all want to be your friend. You got 50 requests from strangers. Some of them, it's a great way to stay connected with friends and family from our past. Now, some of the people from our past were not very good for us, so we might want to purge that out on an energy level and to cut cords and to release things. In order to do that, we tend to have to resolve the karmic business that we had with them in the first place, and to heal it, sometimes we're being guided to okay, I've got the lesson and I need to release it. Some people love to stay friends with everyone from their past. Now, the problem is sometimes these energy cords can kind of draw on your energy. They were anyways at the time, or can kind of affect you now. The more that you can clear out your energy field and release past attachments and cords, especially to people that weren't good for you, you're going to really clean things up. And this is a healing process. I know I've talked to people where they just can't. Like, if I was like, you got to get rid of this person, and they're not with them anymore, but they have a very hard time letting go, this can indicate a deeper cord. Sometimes these cords cord really deep. For healing the sacral, the best thing that you can do is do a social media cleanse, right? And get rid of people from your past if they're still there. And of course, that energy cleanse. Once you can do that and you can begin to really cut and clear cords and attachments, your energy is going to it's going to skyrocket. Your frequency is going to go so high. It wasn't anything intentional, but some of your connections from your past have kind of weighed you down a little bit. You might have known that in some of your previous, whether they were probably romantic connections or even friendships that they didn't work out. The universe got rid of this person. I don't know what happened. It was you know what I mean? And so you might kind of sense that as you're moving through life. When we do this spiritual work, it is to help you with your frequency, and things take off. For the people that have done the work, suddenly your business starts to boom, and you do amazing. Your projects start to take off. Oh my God, you get, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, and your manifestations get unblocked and unstuck, and things start to happen and move in a really, really good way. So sometimes it is, connections from our past, or just cleaning up your sacral in general. That is our energy and our relationship chakra. Remember, we have other relationships that are not romantic too, if they're still corded and affecting us in a negative way. This is why, and I'll go back to whoever got the Take Back Your Power card. This is one of the best ways to take back your power, and of course your energy center, as sometimes these cords can kind of run deep. So for you, doing some type of cord clearing right now would really, really help with your sacral. Okay, I'm going, but have a beautiful day. We'll be back tomorrow for videos. Sending you so much love. If you do need me, you can book me on my website. You can do any of the stuff on my shop right now that's up there.